I have tried almost every productivity system out there. You name it, I have bought it, I have tried it. Bullet journaling, Notion, dashboard, see, I don't even know what it is. Notebooks, schedulers, apps, courses, coaching, you name it. I have most likely tried my hand at it. And I don't want to say that it was for naught. I don't want to say that I didn't learn anything at all, but they never really landed for me because there's really only been one true system that has ever actually worked for me. And today I want to let you in on what exactly that is. So let's get into it. Hello, friend and fellow adventurer. My name is Kayla. I'm a multi-passionate creative doing all the things and documenting my messy middle so you don't feel so alone in yours. Welcome or welcome back to Sidequests and Sideeyes, part cozy tavern, part strategy guide, part unhinged chaos. Around these parts, we take a side eye to hustle culture. We go the pace of grace, which is really, really slow, and celebrate every win. Yes, showering counts. If you're anything like me, then you are very creative, have a vast range of emotions and ideas and paths you can take, lives that you could build out and level up in as if it were a new Skyrim profile, okay? And so you recognize you live this very creative, artful, open-ended, spontaneous, you name it, kind of life. That's how you like to approach your day to day. But you do recognize that there is a need for structure. Structure is actually your friend. No, it doesn't have to be rigid, but it does have to give you some kind of boundaries of knowing how to move forward, how to continue going down the road. We know that because we've tried life without structure. We've tried life without any sort of means of moving forward with an idea or a focus, right? So we understand these two kind of tensions, right? We want to live this free bird lifestyle, but then we also know, I've tried kind of living with a blank page for everything and realizing now I'm just stuck and paralyzed by the endless array of ideas. So I need something in the middle, right? Kind of like the gutters. The gutters? Is that what they're called? The gutters in bowling? Is that what they call them? Bumpers. The bumpers in bowling. Kind of like that, right? Like we're not necessarily always going to need those bumpers, but just having them there help us kind of focus our aim in a forward progression. Usually when we get this point where we recognize, okay, I need to put some bumpers in my creative life or just my life in general, we start going searching for productivity, right? And a lot of these systems have never worked for me. And I'll tell you why they haven't worked for me. It's because a lot of these systems are created for organized people, for already organized people by already organized people. So if you're not somebody who thinks like that, if you're not somebody who's task oriented, but they're more idea oriented, most productivity systems and time management systems are focused around being task oriented. Well, I'm not really task motivated at all. I'm idea motivated. I want to get things done that I care about. Even though I recognize I need to do the tasks to get to the thing that I want, I'm not very motivated by just like checking things off a box. Although I do like the feeling, it's not my primary motivation. I was so passionate about this, I actually came up with my own system. It's called the Sidequests Strategy Guide, and I still have that. If you're interested in that, I still teach it, and I think it's a lot of fun. But today I wanted to talk about the ultimate productivity system, the one system to end all systems. And you might get mad at me, but here it is. Here is the answer that you are looking for. The one productivity system that you need for your life is the one that is actually going to work for your life. I know you might feel like I bait and switched you, but I don't mean to. It's just that is the simple answer, and it took me so long. It took me so long to get to that answer. I created a whole system, a whole productivity system that creatives have used, they love, and it does help. My husband uses it. I still use it. I have a couple friends that use like pieces and parts to it. Like I have created a whole productivity system for creativity, and it works. But the reason why it works at its core level is because it's built for you to fit it into your own life. The only productivity system you will ever need is the one that's actually fits your life, that actually fits your real life. Now, I could go on about this for ages and ages and ages, but I've broken this down into the 4 elements that help you build out the one productivity system that you need. That's kind of how I built out my Sidequester strategy guide. That is the productivity system I use. Why? Because it works for my life. The first element that you are going to need to build a productivity system, to end all productivity systems, is you need to build a system that works for your current carrying capacity. Now, carrying capacity is something I talk about a lot on my channel, and you can go find a lot of those different videos, but let me give you just a quick rundown. If you play Skyrim at all, there's this thing called carrying capacity. There are a certain number of items you can carry on your person before you're carrying too much, and then you're over what's called over encumbered. And now you can't run because you're carrying too many things. And so if you have a carrying capacity of 300 and then you keep collecting items and you get to 300 or above, you can no longer run. You can also no longer fast travel on the map because you have too much. And that's kind of where I get the idea of capacity. Like, where is your actual capacity? How much can you actually carry? Because if you are maxed out and you are over encumbered and your capacity in this season of life is 300 and you're carrying 300, 320, 300 plus items, I'm sorry to say, like, you could have a goal to be done in 2 weeks on a project, but the realistic goal is probably 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So when you are building this productivity system, you need to build it for your current carrying capacity, not the capacity you wish you had, your actual carrying capacity, because otherwise anything that you set out to do, you're going to be disappointed. Why? Because how do I know that? Because I've done that a million times. Like, oh, I can do this. And I'm like, no, you're depressed. So no, you're not going to get that done this month. You might get that done this year. Unless you magically are done being depressed overnight, which sometimes happens, but very rarely. So some of the things you can ask yourself to figure out your capacity. I do have the current carrying capacity assessment. I'll put that down below. It's free. People really like taking this. It's nothing like serious. It's just like a quick assessment that helps you kind of clock like, oh, am I actually okay? Like, can I carry more, or should I put some things down? Or, should I just kind of hang out here? So some things that can just quickly ask some questions, like how many hours do you actually have? In a day, in a week, in a month. Like, how many hours do you actually have? What does your energy realistically look like? Like, you can say like, oh, I'm going to film 7 videos today. Well, that's great. But is that true? Is your energy telling you a different story? And then, like, what season are you in? What season are you in? Because if you're in a growth season, you might need to scale back. If you're in a learning season, okay, maybe you can push a little more. There's a lot of things that go into your capacity. And so, like I said, I highly suggest checking out my current carrying capacity assessment, because that is very, very helpful. But you need to build a system for your current capacity. Current. Second, you need to build for your real resources. And when I say resources, I don't just mean money. In the same way that I'm talking about capacity, you also need to think of your time as a resource, your energy as a resource. Do you have a support system? Have you gone through a recent trauma? How are you physically doing? Like, are you sick? Are you chronically ill? Have you just dealt with a serious diagnosis? Emotionally, where are you at? Have you dealt with a trauma, grief? There's a lot that goes into what your resources actually are. We often think of like, oh, well, I have this much money and these tools. But I think the more we really expand outward and think about what other resources we have, I think that will actually help you understand like, oh, this is actually what I have in my tool belt right now. And you can't build a productivity system or use somebody else's productivity system if their resources aren't where your resources are at, right? So like if person A has, 100 units of resources and person B has -3 units of resources and you have 30 units of resources, well, like, maybe you can learn something from person A and person B, but the systems they're using are probably not going to work for you as a copy paste type of item, okay? So you need to build a productivity system, whatever it might be from you, build or borrow, whatever you want to call it, that works for your personal, real resources, real, accurate. Okay. Next, if you're going to build a productivity system for yourself that's going to end all productivity systems and is going to actually work for you, you need to build something that takes into account resistance. Okay, this is something I talk about a lot in the Sidequester strategy guide, is that resistance is a good thing, okay? Too much resistance resistance can be a bad thing, but like resistance at its core is a good thing when you use it properly, right? Too much resistance, because I'm a weightlifter, too much resistance, if I haven't worked up to that, I'm going to break my back, pull my muscles, seriously injure myself. Not enough resistance and I'm actually not going to grow much. My muscles aren't going to necessarily get stronger. I might stay kind of stagnant, but just the right amount of resistance is going to challenge me in a way that helps me grow and then overcome my personal records to set new PRs, all those sorts of things. So in order to create a productivity system that's going to work for you, you need to build something that takes into account resistance, because to pretend it's not going to happen and to avoid it is silly, because it will. It will. Even when it came to recording this video, I was going to batch some content and I came to record some videos and immediately hit resistance. My brain wasn't working. I thought about a million different things. People were calling, things were falling apart. Resistance happens. So you need to build something that's going to take that into account and give you space to not fall apart if you hit some resistance, right? That's going to be like, okay, I hit some resistance, but I can work through this, get stronger, move forward. All right, so the final element, if you are going to build a Gandalf level productivity system for yourself that's going to actually fit your life, you need to create a system that is repeatable and that you can be consistent in. Okay, so a lot of these productivity systems are beautiful, they're color-coded, they are highly optimized, they are aesthetic, it's not that they're bad, okay, but I'm just going to be honest, some of these productivity systems I've started on, and I think I can do this is perfect, this is going to get myself together, and then I start on it and I realize this is not repeatable, this is not something that I can get up and be consistent in. Like it's taking into account everything that I've said. Like if none of those things are in place, this is not going to be something I can be consistent in. This is not something I can show up to consistently, whether that's every day or once a week, whatever it might be. Like I'm not going to show up to this over and over. I'm going to give up. I'm just going to be honest. It's too much. It's too complicated. It costs too much time. It costs too much prep work. Whatever the case may be, if you want to have a productivity system that works for you, you've got to have a system that you want to show up to and that you're going to continue to show up to and that is repeatable, something that you can do again day after day that's not going to drain you, but it's going to be life-giving and actually help you take some steps forward. Maybe that wasn't the answer you were looking for, but I do think it's the answer that will be most life-giving for you in the season, is that the ultimate productivity system to end all productivity systems, the one that is going to change your life forever, the one that is actually going to work, is the one that is built for your real life, for your real life. You can use any of those systems out there. You can use mine if you want, but even in mine, I say, look, take what you like, take what works and leave what doesn't work for you. You have to take the time to retrofit what is going to work for you. If that means you're borrowing from 5 different systems to create your own system, which is kind of what I did, that's fine. But I think you getting discouraged by going out there and saying, I watched this girl do this bullet journal thing and it was beautiful and it looks great, I'm going to do that. And then it doesn't work for you. Well, like, just check, like, does it work for your life? Like, did you build something? Or are you borrowing something, building or borrowing something that actually works for your real life? Because all of these different systems, all of these different productivity hacks, a lot of them are really great. Most of them I love, but a lot of them are just not practical on a copy paste type of deal, right? It's going to work for some people and not work for other people. It really has to be something that you take initiative in and create that works for you. And that's the hard part, right? Because that's the part we don't want to do. We want to have something that's already plug and play that we can just jump and go. And I think maybe to get started, sometimes that's helpful, but if it's not working, like, maybe stop and check some of these different areas. Like, is this productivity system really something that's working with your capacity? Or is this not working because you don't have the resources to make this system work? Or, is there too much resistance in this particular productivity system? Like, are you not able to keep showing up because there's too much resistance? And finally, like, is that system even repeatable? Is this like a 75 hard thing where it's like, okay, you do it for 75 days and you do it one time. And then it's like, okay, I need a break from that. I can't repeat that every 75 days. I mean, if you're that kind of person, more power to you, but maybe you're not the person that can do a 75 hard every 75 days. Is it repeatable? Is it something you can come back to consistently? Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed me kind of rant about productivity systems, and maybe you're kind of feeling like, actually, I don't want anything to do with productivity right now. Slowing down would be much, much better. Then I encourage you to check out my Do Less side quest. This was a really, really fun PDF self-paced 7-day journey adventure that I created. It's really about trying to find your way back home to yourself if you are going through kind of a messy, mucky middle of life and just trying to figure things out. Like, how do I keep moving forward? How do I keep taking steps when everything kind of feels heavy and overwhelming? I created this just for you, just to find a little fun and adventure in life, maybe give you a little bit of hope and kind of cut through some of the mess, cut through some of the crud, and find something a little hopeful for your soul. Check that out. It's in the link below. Other than that, I like to end our videos like this, and that is, if you haven't heard this recently, or maybe you've never heard this at all, I'm really proud of you, and your life is worth getting back up for. See you later, friend. Bye.